to find under the stars up in the sky. I don't know how to take this, I don't wanna break this. We're living in the moment, we're living in the moment. Your head is on my shoulder, but never getting older. Baby, it's you and I. You and I. Yeah, we're stars, yeah, we're stars in the sky. Oh, you and I. Yeah, we're stars, yeah, we're stars in the sky. Last night, you can't do it peacefully. It won't go without a fight. So when I go, I know you'll follow me. I don't want slamming doors. No, no, just wait and see. You'll feel it naturally. There's no one else I see. I know you'll follow me. I don't know how to take this, I don't wanna break this. We're living in the moment, we're living in the moment. Your head is on my shoulder, we're never getting older. Baby, it's you and I. You and I. Yeah, we're stars, yeah, we're stars in the sky. Oh, you and I. Yeah, we're stars, yeah, we're stars in the sky.
That it's obvious, baby.
Humans, what have you learned? I was programmed to beat you.
welcome to LXC.
Lights flashing bright. Players take the stage.
Here goes in onto this MF. Sejuani is here to back her up. MF is half HP. Can they save her in time? J4 is here, boxes the Leona and Sejuani up. Leona is the first one on MF. MF has a double kill here. Can they catch up to this Ashe? Ashe does have W and able to kite away, but will they go further? J4 is able to get the airborne with the flash, flag, and drag, followed by the Seraphine through it. MF picks up a third unofficial triple kill going down to the spot lane, and both teams that anytime the MF is banned.
Welcome, and we've got a special one for everyone today. This is week 5 Arbiter, and we're gonna be seeing TD versus TD, Royal versus Poro. And very excited to be here today as Scarlet Q with Pradles today for the other caster.
Hello, all of you people out there. And as Bingus is already saying, this is an org versus org match. So it is TD versus TD, TD Poro versus TD Royal. So should be a good one to watch. They said.
Yeah, and I've got the inside scoop that apparently top lane is where it's at, which is great news for me because I love top lane. It's awesome, and we're gonna see a lot of nonsense. Although I am kind of interested in seeing what picks go around the top lane because that is definitely some interesting players where you have K with carries and his opponent Vanity Pain trying to figure out what they want to do for that exactly.
And it looks like we're already into draft. That was a quick one from when the stream started. So first ban we see coming out is that Ezreal off the side of TD Royal and an Ashe. So a couple of 80 carry bans already. I don't want to give away too many. I don't want to give away too many secrets, but I've heard apparently one of the 80 carries has a bit of a limited champion pool. So
or JFK could be trying to take that Ashe top lane for sure.
Oh, you know what? It wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't surprise me.
Okay, well, there was a moment where Varus top was viable, but it's not happening today because we've got 3 80 carry bans already. That's very interesting. I know that they've been migrated to the mid lane a little bit, but this seems a bit excessive.
I thought the whole point of the Kraken Slayer and Static Shiv nerfs were to keep them out of the solo lanes.
Well, they're
Mainly
definitely not
Tristana,
in the solo
but
lanes this game if there's none left, right?
yeah, right.
Diego's first non-AD carry banned. And Tarek would be one I haven't seen in a long time, and I guess I won't see it today.
I mean, we did see
He
it in
is
the
gone.
opening video.
Oh,
I don't
that's
remember
true.
which
That's
team was
fair.
playing it, but there was a Tarek there. I remember seeing that ulti come out.
True. It looks like it was on TD Poro side,
Okay, then there
which
we
makes
go.
sense because the other team banned it, so it makes sense it wasn't them playing it. And it did okay. Look, 21 assists seems pretty good. They won pretty handedly, so
Oh
I
yeah,
respect that
definitely.
ban.
Yeah, and time to see what that last ban is from TD Poro, and it is a
Ooh, Hecker.
Hecarim ban actually. So what I'm
So what?
anticipating, if I remember right, it could be a first pick Jinx here. I believe that is one of the 80 carries that the 80 carry for TD Royal does play. So that's what I'm anticipating.
Pretty
I think
good.
it's Hotski, but
Kind of scary to blind pick it, but you've already banned some of the nice things against her.
ooh,
Called
the
it
misfortune, that was
misfortune.
the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I
Now
mean, 80
there are some
carries.
things that answer misfortune pretty well still available.
Yeah, the
Jin is
Jin
also
being
a
one of
pretty
them.
nice one. Mm-hmm. But
I was
also I'm
gonna
looking at
say,
the support pick. Could be anything from a Braum to, just something that will shut her
oh,
down pretty
Leon.
quickly while she's ulting. Yeah, Leona is another classic one that we've been seeing a lot of lately. I think on those podcasts that I did earlier this week, where you mentioned Leona specifically as a good pick. Wasn't banned here and is great in the misfortune, is totally fine with Jin as well.
Yeah, you get sad when you're
Nautilus,
like,
pretty
ooh,
similar.
Nautilus. Yeah, about the same role that Leona fills. But yeah, that Leona, when you have a Leona on the other team, it feels real bad. You just start ulting, Leona ults on top of you, and you cry. It's a
Mm-hmm.
sad time.
Absolutely. However, I'm still
But
looking for those top lane picks. I'm really excited. What is JFK gonna bring to us? I know it's probably not gonna happen here blind, but come on.
no, they're saving top lane for
Oh,
round two.
Poppy's interesting. It's usually more of a counter pick, and it is not really great into these champions. It's fine.
I
I do
mean,
like it though.
it's a bit of a counter pick to the Nautilus. I think Nautilus lands a hook on anyone. Poppy throws up that steadfast presence, and Nautilus can't go anywhere. So I
Mm-hmm.
believe that is a
Mm-hmm.
Poppy support as a bit of a counter pick to the Nautilus. Not quite as
Well, it's
good as it
definitely
is
not
to
Poppy
Leona.
jungle because their jungle just
Definitely
got
not.
locked in.
Hey, it could be a new mid. You never know.
That's true. Oh, I like this slipping the Mordekaiser underneath the bands and getting 2 bans on JFK. So that way
Hmm.
you can maybe have a matchup that he is not used to.
That's
Just
it.
because, you get that top lane in where most people are like, oh, I want top lane counterpick. You know what? We're going to have to get someone counterpicked anyways. Just pick it up before bans and ban 2 champions otherwise. But it looks like they're actually targeting mid laners right now.
Yep, with that Lux ban, doesn't really make sense if you're blind picking that Mordekaiser, you'd want to pinch the top lane pool, try to get Mordekaiser's counter picks out of there. But to be fair, I don't know what counters Mordekaiser. Man is very strong. I'd have to say maybe Scion, maybe Renekton. Of what JFK plays, I'd say probably Renekton, maybe the Garen. They were going to ban anything out away from JFK, but he does have quite a large champion pool, so we shall have to see what he wants to pick into that Mordekaiser. Syndra, very strong right now. Not surprised to see that banned.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what that says for TD Royal because it means they're probably going to have to. They know they're going to have to blind pick their mid laner because you don't blind pick your top laner's TD4 and then blind pick your mid laner.
Yeah,
So,
no.
what mid laner do they want to blind pick that's bad into Syndra and
Uh,
Xerath? Interesting.
let's see. I
Wait,
don't know
they
the.
are blind. Okay, wait a second. I know I just said that they wouldn't do that. Looks like they are just throwing all the rules of draft out the window. They're gonna blind pick. They're save their jungle for counter pick, and they're gonna let
Okay, they locked
Veigar
it
be
in.
locked in.
That's
Now if you ban Syndra Xerath, I guess Veigar is kind of more the same. Burst mage of range. But wow, picking that into Nunu as well. I mean, I don't know.
yeah, that Veigar.
Veigar blind. I guess TD4 are trying to send a message here.
And there's the
It's just
Renekton. Yep, that what I was expecting
sure,
from
sure.
JFK.
But what do you pick into Veigar? Uh,
Um, maybe
I
the
guess it's
Aurora. Maybe we'll see Aurora. Could happen.
I I could see that. It would be pretty fun to see for
So I think
sure.
maybe an Ari would be more likely. Maybe a Kassadin, but I don't know if their mid laner plays Kassadin, and it's actually going to be a Nivea.
This is the
Okay,
kind of things you
control
open
mage versus
yourself up
control
to.
mage.
Whenever you pick your top lane and mid lane like that, you're just like, oh, aha, we've gotten our locks in, and now TD Royal could just take something like a Nivea, and you have no chance to answer because you're still picking your jungler. Now, a jungler
Nautilus
could
jungle, maybe?
pressure. Well, they haven't locked it in, so I'm gonna assume that we're still gonna pick up. Okay,
They
well,
locked it in.
we locked it in, yeah. That Nautilus is going
Mordekaiser
somewhere. I guess
jungle,
it could
maybe?
be, yeah, it could be Mordekaiser jungle, Nautilus solo lane. Could be
Possible.
Seraphine solo lane.
This
Wow.
draft confuses me.
So I guess picking the Veigar makes sense. Because you're like, haha, we've shown you all the tricks up our sleeve. We're idiots, we're fools. We've picked the Veigar. Oh no, we just have to pick our jungler. And then they
Never
lock
mind,
in
we already picked
Seraphine.
our jungler.
uh, so we'll have to update you with exactly what's going on with the champions. I'm not sure if it worked out for them though, because I'm not sure that like you really suitably answered the Anivia
Yeah, I don't think
despite your
so either.
tricks. So like
Yeah.
you get creativity points. Everyone in the draft is very befuddled and like bamboozled for sure. I'm not sure that it gives you a material advantage though, other than the
No.
confusion for the first few minutes of the game where TD Royal's like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah, but think about it. Like, if it's a Nautilus jungle, he doesn't really have much jungle clear. Like, he's going to be really far behind that Nunu that can just power farm. And the Nunu's going to have better gank assist and just gank priority in the early game. Like, it confuses me. And if it's
I'm
Mordekaiser jungle, like, I guess it kind of makes sense. They made it so a lot of champions can jungle nowadays. Mordekaiser kind of being one of them, but no, this draft is just strange to me. We'll have to see what TD Poro decides to lock in as their jungler, because this is where they have to commit to a jungler.
Right, it's just clearly Seraphine jungle. Like, have you not seen
Oh
that
yeah,
clear?
yeah.
You just I mean, you could do some interesting strats, and I do
And
like the creativity. I just
maybe it's
don't
Veigar
think
jungle.
that I don't think that the creativity is borne out for them because again, it didn't give them a material advantage in draft, even if it does leave some head scratching.
Yeah. And I imagine Nautilus top lane usually just gets dumpstered by the Renekton. Like,
Probably.
I have to guess.
Can't
What are they locked in
can't say
here?
that I've played it. I can't say that I played
Yeah.
that matchup.
Yeah.
But all right, we are going to see what top lane TD Poro locks in. It's going to be Mordekaiser, which means their
That means
jungler
it
is
has
coming up next. Of these
has to be a
champions, I guess
Nautilus jungle.
Nautilus is the most likely, but man, am I not happy with that. Yep, Nautilus has been locked in for the jungle slot.
I am not happy with the Nautilus jungle either, but you know, who knows? Who knows?
And
Maybe
it
it's a
left it so
counterpick to
awkward.
Nunu. Maybe it's a
What
counterpick to
if
Nunu. I don't know.
I just left it so awkward because you didn't even get to utilize this flex because it meant that you had to hide your support. It's just so awkward.
It
I
really
mean, I
is.
like the creativity, but I wish there was a way to make it a little bit more profitable in the draft if you're going to bring out something like Nautilus Jungle.
Yeah.
So it will be Jen Seraphine in the bot lane pretty clearly. Veigar versus Anivia is definitely a matchup I haven't seen in about 10 years. Like, definitely a callback, but wow. We're in 2024, everyone, like season 14.
Yeah. Yeah.
But from what I remember, it's pretty okay for Veigar, right? Like, both
I
mages
mean,
kind of a skill matchup in a way. I don't
it's a skill
know. This
matchup.
is
They're both control mages that are gonna want to look to just farm and scale into the late game. So
yeah,
I
but they also have to play into some interesting junglers. Like, imagine being a Nivea and a Nautilus comes out of nowhere. Like, guys,
yeah.
call your Mias. Nautilus is in my lane. Well, Seraphine's right here, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I was gonna say I actually give the late game scaling a bit to Anivia because Anivia
I
actually
can see
like
it.
Veigar can blow people up, but Anivia has the wave clear.
Yeah,
And really,
that's
I think
definitely not what I
combos
was
better.
thinking of the matchup. Yeah, what I was thinking of the matchup was more that Veigar could probably answer her super well early before she gets that level 6. Not as much as like an assassin, but I don't know that Anivia gets the scale for free. Either
No, I mean,
way.
like I said, both mid laners kind of want to scale in this early game, so I'm not expecting too much action in the mid lane at least. But that top lane, Renekton versus Mordekaiser, that's gonna be a bloodfest.
Yeah, and we'll have to keep track of jungle as well. Both junglers kind of not looking to get camps as much. I mean, Nunu can power farm, but Nautilus not as much. But
Yeah.
I expect him to be ganking very often. And they've got some nice ones to gank. Anivia's a little annoying to gank, but whatever. Always put
hmm
pressure on Renekton and feel pretty good about it. And then you've
Yeah, but
got
it's a
really
Nautilus.
good CC bot lane.
It's a Nautilus though. What's he gonna do in his ganks? Is he just gonna flash hook? Like,
Basically, you just hope that your laners have damage, and luckily, for the most part, most of the lanes have damage. So bringing CC is really nice. Bot lane's kind of awkward actually with Nautilus. Because like you come
Yeah.
in and they can't move, but they're kind of chilling sunbathing and you just can't make you know. It just depends. Depends on
Right
how
though.
much Jin can put out.
We got that
Either way.
spectator delay now, so I think we shall take a short break and be back to you in 5 minutes, where we see what happens. The Nautilus jungle versus Nunu. We shall find out.
Yeah, get your. Then you've got 20 seconds or something left. Really small.
Still 20
Get them
seconds.
in.
Ready to forget now. I'm not ready yet. Ready to forget. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready You can fly, but you'll never get closer to the sun. You may rise at the price of everyone else falling down, but I'm not going down with you. So you may rise, but you'll never make me wanna stick around you.
Welcome to the Rift in the TD versus TD matchup. We've got some very interesting level ones looking to brew, especially with the Nautilus. I mean, it's not. I mean, gosh, Nautilus, I guess, has to start Q and it's okay. The flash Q, but JFK flashes? I mean, that's pretty big, honestly, because you got two ganking junglers. One flash already gone from lane's nice. Now, it's not the one that you maybe want to gank the most, but still. JFK's flash is down.
We didn't talk about it. This top lane's gonna be a bloodbath, so JFK not having flash could open up those early Nautilus ganks, but we shall have to see.
But now Hoodie Man started Q, has no flash for ganks. It's definitely something. We'll see how this clear goes. You have to imagine the bot lane's gonna give a pretty nice leash, but that brings in its own problems. They're too ranged into a melee range, so how do they get back to lane easily? Look at this cheese already brewing up because they know that Hoodie Man has to get the best leash of his life. So the Funny Man and Hilly and Abu are just gonna have to walk right through there, surely. I mean, I don't know if you're even sure how they get out of this. Look, they're not even on a ward. So everyone is aware on TD Roar is aware of what's going on. You could just see this like a train crash in slow motion, right? Nautilus is going to
Oh,
take
yeah.
10 years to kill this. The Funny Man's going to use all 4 of his shots. Looks like he has decided to walk the safe way, so that will back off the bot lane of TD Royal. But man, that was close to a
He
disaster.
walked through that try brush. That was risky. He got real
Mhm.
close to that try if the MF Poppy were sitting in try. Yeah.
Okay, now
Okay.
definitely want to watch for level 2. And also, if you're Vanity and you, or sorry, not Vanity, if you're JFK and you saw Nautilus start blue buff on that ward, you set a timer for about 20 minutes, and that's whenever Nautilus has finished his clear to come gank you.
Yeah, pretty
So
much. Yeah.
you've got
Might be
plenty of
level 3.
time to pressure, which you've got the pressure right now. It doesn't decide to go in on the level 2, which is kind of interesting. But still, feeling
So
pretty good in that
Seraphine
lane.
started her E. I guess it makes
Mhm.
sense. The E if you're doing that level 1 invade play.
Right.
Ooh. A little bit of a trade going in bot lane, but just a little bit of traded damage, it looks like. Nothing too crazy. And yeah, top lane, about half and half right now. JFK with that little extra lead right now is going to take a tower shot for that, though.
Nautilus has finished his first quadrant. We've done it,
All right.
ladies and gentlemen.
No, Nunu's only about 10 seconds ahead of him, I think.
Right,
Just
right.
finished
I'm thinking,
Wolves.
I'm thinking.
Nautilus is starting his red buff now.
I mean, Nautilus doesn't really need that much farm. He's skipping his Raptors for now, and I think that's probably going to be something that he skips for a while. So, oh, not getting the stun there is pretty big as well. Root is really nice. I think the Cypher is going to take a lot of burst for this. Dodges that damage, but now Husky's the target, and their health bars are just really, really low.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a spooky trade there for the side of TD Royal.
Okay, I really, really like what Valor did just now. He skipped a camp just to get a ward off because you know Hoodie Man's heading up there, and now they see him. So even though it's a
Yep.
little early, crap hasn't spawned yet, and he's not able to get it because they did make JFK back off because of that, it does save his top laner a lot of safety concerns by just getting that ward off, even if he misses some camps for it, or some tempo for it.
Mm-hmm. There is always the bottomless side jungle. Ooh, looks like a ganks Bruin in the mid lane. And
Gets the
Nautilus
hook
at
off, but that's under tower and doesn't have flash. So I think Alchemist is going to be totally fine. They can't really commit that hard.
They tried, but the Nautilus did take a tower shot for that, so it's a little spooky there. But nothing
Now-
too crazy yet.
Valhyr's like, there ain't no way that you took your entire topside camps, right? Like, you came down here with 20 CS, you're Nautilus, I'm taking everything then.
Oh yeah, I would. You
Oh,
know
Valhyr's
Nautilus
getting
doesn't
a nice
clear
trade
fast.
because Raven doesn't have that much mana here. I think it's okay though, but Nunu's behind. Nautilus here. I think the 2v2 still goes to Nunu Alchemist, but not if Alchemist misses everything, gets stunned. Valkyr cannot finish off Raven by himself. Now Nautilus, I don't think Hoodie's really worried about taking damage that much, so it ends up fizzling out. But if Alchemist had played just a little bit tighter, I think that might have been a kill. So just a bit unfortunate. Meanwhile, a kill might be brewing bot lane. Not quite, just not enough damage off the Q for Helium Mabu.
Still possible if
But
the Jin
Cypher's
can
gotta
land a
be
good
safe.
Q. We'll have to see.
Mm-hmm.
No, I doubt it at this point. But they already got a 12 CS deficit on the side of TD Royal in the bot lane right now, at least. Top lane, 7 CS up on the side of Mordekaiser. And it is
really good
for
bait.
gank.
Looking like he accidentally got hit by that E, but it's actually on purpose because it brings in the Nunu with the snowball. I mean, it might not have been on purpose. Maybe JFK really did accidentally get hit by that E, but certainly made Vanity pull in more than he thought he was.
Yeah, we'll say that was on purpose. And JFK did save his TP, and his flash is about to come back up. Mordekaiser did burn his flash in that top lane trade, so JFK now with the flash advantage, I imagine he's going to TP back top. No, he's just walking. Okay.
So jungle card is even, you know, it's not nothing.
Yeah.
This is kind of what Nunu does, though, and he's got to kill. So that's already an advantage, and he's also gotten some nice advantage. Oh, Cypher coming in for a roam mid lane. They can't go behind the wall, though. So it's not really going to turn into anything except for annoying the hell out of Raven. Even the Nunu comes in. Just trying to
there
get
to help.
Alchemist to 6. But it's kind of awkward because they just stole XP 3 ways.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that Poppy Anivia combo there, too. Anivia puts up the wall, Poppy stuns him into the wall.
Yeah, or
Actually,
you just wall Hoodie Man whenever he tries to get a hook. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it looks like Poro's actually starting up the Drake here. I mean, they do have pressure in both the bot and mid lane. It looks like TD Royal really won't be able to respond. Nunu's on the top side of the map, just gonna farm his wolves, so it should be first strike going over to the side of Poro.
Eventually. One day.
Eventually, yeah. I
There
mean,
it
they don't
is.
take it that fast. They have a Jhin. They have a Jhin and a Nautilus. Like,
Right. But the only answer that Valhyr gets is his own camps. He's not even invading for that. It looks like maybe not. No, just going for grubs. So
yeah,
honestly, not the worst.
yeah, definitely not the
Pretty good.
worst. I'd be happy to trade first strike for first grubs.
Yes.
I
Especially
always like that
whenever
scaling objective.
like your Nautilus, usually you get a bit of an XP deficit whenever you go for first dragon for first grubs, but you're always gonna have an XP deficit. So my wait, actually Husky
Yeah.
walking up a little too far forward has to flash.
Yep,
And the
yep.
Nautilus ganks are finally paying off a little bit. I think that was the first one where we saw material advantage from Nautilus showing up, other than defensive plays.
Yeah, he did burn the Poppy flash in that mid lane play earlier, so he's burned a couple of flashes so far. So far, not having any kills, but definitely getting a couple of flashes. So we'll have to keep an eye out on those repeat ganks. Bot lane has no flash now. Like I mentioned, JFK does have flash advantage over Vanity right now, and it looks like he's going in. Is it gonna go well?
Okay,
He's just
but
going
this
out.
time he does not have the Nunu behind him whenever he starts his trade, so it's a little scary. It doesn't even matter though. He's just absolutely able to dodge everything. He will walk away now, but gets out an ult for his flash. I mean, yeah, it just felt like he was trying to play aggressive like he wants to, but I'm not sure that it ends up working out for him. It does make Vanity have a little awkward situation where he wants to back but can't.
Mhm.
Yet JFK, I'm not sure if they can make this dive work. They're gonna try it, or at least, yeah, it looks like they want to. But the minions are gone, so you're gonna take this fully. Now Valkyrie is taking a lot of damage. I think it's just a double kill. Here comes one. JFK will also go down, so they do get the dive, but they don't even deny minions. All the minions had already died, and you're giving over 2 kills and a bunch of jungle tempo for that.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a
Oh,
questionable
and
dive
Cypher is
there.
in a lot of trouble here. Nice ultimate to cancel the MF ult. Jhin is just going to channel this Cypher. You have to dodge a little bit fancier. Husky's going to block it. And I think that Funny Man probably didn't have to channel ultimate so quickly. I mean, I'd have to look at it again. But it does mean that the Cypher gets the limp away. Now, the tempo is still great for bot lane. You're not going to be too upset about it. It's just
No,
thinking about what
definitely
could have been. Maybe an extra kill. Oh, Root here is pretty big with 4-shot available. Decides to use it on the farm because it's just a little hard to commit under tower. And now Alchemist has already used ultimate, so the trade's kind of hard for him, but I think it'll just be normal mid lane things. Now, this time it's Vanity with the jungle pressure, but I don't know if they can 2v1 him. JFK might be able to just walk away if he dodges everything. Can't dodge that ult, however. Now Nunu is here. The Nunu ult is going to be massive. It starts up now. There's just no CC. Oh, there it is. And it looks like both groups are... Oh, he just flashed in. Does not care about the tower because he's right on the edge of it. But they're both melee. So they can't commit any further without minions.
Yeah, that was a bit of a questionable flash there from Hoodie Man. I could see what he was going for, but I don't know about that flashing out of tower there. That Renekton does do a lot of damage right now. And I'm actually surprised Nautilus is up in CS on this Nunu right now.
Yeah, I mean... Oh, wait. JFK looking for some spicy plays, but doesn't get the empowered Q on any champion, so it doesn't heal as much as he would like.
He's going
Speaking
back
of
up,
Nunu
though.
CS,
Mordecai
no
doesn't have
CS
no
whenever
flash
just
yet.
gonna farm. Nice ultimate in, but once Nunu could just fancy feed his way out, I mean, but there's still Hoodie Man still on the outside, and he can't even fancy feed his way out. He's dead in the ultimate, and now JFK is also in a lot of trouble, not even gonna get one, and the top lane has just gone from bad to worse for JFK.
Yeah, that's we did say it was gonna be bloody top lane. I was not expecting the Mordekaiser to just hard win that and be 4-2 10 minutes into the game, but I guess that's what happens when you try to 2v1 a Mordekaiser under his tower.
Yeah, I don't know that, like, Mordekaiser hard one that, like, obviously the gold is very good, but it just feels like it's more a few missteps from JFK than Valkyrie. More from ego. Rather than, like, oh, Vanity's just playing out of his mind. Like, don't get me wrong, Vanity's playing fine, but it feels like it's more tripping mechanic of JFK and Valkyrie that's getting this huge advantage top lane.
It almost felt like they were trying to play around the Mordekaiser ulti. I don't think they were expecting it to be up that quickly when the Nunu came in, because the Mordekaiser ult had just come up. So it looked like he was waiting on that, trying to wait for the Nunu to come in to pop that ultimate. So I think they were trying to time it to get that gank in on the Mordekaiser before that ulti came back up. But unfortunately, they just mistimed it, miscalculated a little bit, and Yeah, Mordekaiser just gets the 1v1 in the Shadow Realm. Taking to the Nunu to Brazil.
Yeah, so you mentioned the CS gap between the junglers, and it is very funny. But it is just
Right?
kind of like, if you are going to play against this ganking heavy Nunu, is Nautilus really the best answer? Because yes, you can outfarm him, but who cares? Meanwhile, mid lane, Raven has to flash, and that's right before Dragon spawns as well. But that also means that Nunu ult is going to be down for it.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Nunu like double tapped his ult in that top lane fight also. He popped it immediately after he started channeling it. It's not usually what you
Potentially.
want to do.
Yeah, not the best use case scenario, but now you have the Nunu ult. I think Raven's going to be fine with the flash. It's
Yeah.
not like he's trying to dodge the Nautilus hooks.
If I was on the
And this
side of
Cloud
Poro here,
Drake,
and it looks like they're just going to go for that second set of grubs. Get those 6 grubs, trade them for that second Drake.
right, but Cloud Drake usually kind of trash. Here against a Nivea Nunu MF,
Yeah,
that's a lot of work.
it really does. And looks like JFK, unfortunately, getting the bad side of these trades top lane now with that Eclipse
Okay,
first versus the
Vanity
Rylai's.
should know they're on grubs. This is really aggressive. I know JFK is really low, but he should know every single member of the top side is up here. It doesn't even matter though because Mordekaiser are ult and they're just too busy getting the objective. So Vanity's able to get a solo kill with 2 watching members from TD Royal, which is really nice.
That was also a really late ultimate there out of JFK too. If he wanted to commit to that fight, he needed to pop that ultimate sooner. His ult was up, and he popped it when he was at about 200 health. Not the most valuable ultimate there. Definitely needed to pop it sooner if he was planning to trade with that Mordekaiser there.
Okay, but this
But
should... Yeah, Mordekaiser moment.
Yeah. Mordekaiser
this
ulti is
should-
doing so much.
Start putting alarm bells off on TD Royal. They strong-sided top lane there temporarily, and they lost the fight. Yes, they have 6 scrubs, but who's gonna push for them? I mean, Anivia can hit towers, I guess. But, you know, JFK is not really in a position to start breaking down towers even with 6 scrubs, unless something really changes in the top lane. And then on bot side, you don't even want to speak about it just because of how, you know, you've got 2 dragons down. It's really hard to see you getting the next dragon. So you have to avoid soul at some point by some kind of play before 3rd and 4th dragon.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Yeah. It feels
TD
really
Royal
bad to get
has
that
to
solo kill
fight.
top lane.
Yeah, TD Royal has to fight for this next Drake. You do not want to give up soul point to this team that's already ahead. But they do have 6 grubbies.
Okay, Raven has the flash because of the previous play. This is pretty good. They get a nice little channel, nice little second channel. Raven should go down, and they give it to Alchemist, which is really nice. That is the one avenue I see them going forward in this game. This Anivia already has 1 Roa stack, and giving that kill will only accelerate it more. I mean, not the Roa, but, you know, the Anivia in general.
Yeah. Anivia, that
That would be
scaling
awesome.
champion. Mm-hmm.
If Roa gave you bonus minutes for kills or something, it would be really
That would
silly
be
and
hilarious.
snowbally, but...
Like old Sword of the Occult / Soul Stealer.
Oh, man. Either way, JFK is still playing like he has got the 1v1 or he's got the Nunu, but he has to flash out. And he has to worry about Vanity's ult, which will be up in less than 10 seconds.
On the bright side, he did dodge the Mordekaiser E that time.
Mm-hmm. No, Decipher is playing really aggressive here. They do set up a really nice MF ulti, but now they have to answer the following ultis. If Poppy can get this ult, just misses.
Oh.
It doesn't matter though, because it's already kind of expired, you know. MF is at full health, and Decipher can easily walk out of the ultimate, but a little bit awkward. It's good to miss that one and not a really key team fight one, but maybe update exactly where you want to be standing for the next time, for sure.
Yeah. Just
Now,
a little
Vanity
bit
getting
out of
ulted
range there.
on their tower gets JFK's ult, but the redive is pretty real because JFK literally cannot leave. Now, the teleport behind is pretty big, and Nivea is here with a lot of gold. They get a nice stun off. I don't think JFK can, or Bunnyman can even do much. Has to flash out. Gets flashed on immediately as well. Nunu does not have ultimate, but this dive is still pretty strong. Nunu will go down. Decipher will go down, but they do get the gen. I mean, the Funny Man getting 2 there is kind of a gift, though, because I really thought that dive would go differently.
Yeah, but it looks like Poro's actually probably going to get mid lane tower here with this Rift Herald. They traded 2 for 2. Royal
Okay,
traded 2
JFK
for
going
2
aggressive
bot lane.
again. No Mordekaiser ult available now because of that dive attempt, but it just doesn't matter. Mordekaiser moment.
I can see what he's going for. The Mordekaiser
Yeah.
was low, but
That's the kind
Fine
of play
for
you
next-
go for whenever you've lost the lead and you're like, I'm still the better player. I can make this work. Just
Yeah,
unfortunately, the material conditions of the gold deficit, even if you play it really well, get the nice engage whenever Mordekaiser's low, he's still gonna just outstat you.
yeah, definitely a bit of an ego play there from JFK. I can see what he was going for, but I'm gonna say it's not worth. Call me crazy. I don't think it's worth.
At the same time, trying to force something in a game where you're not sure where your avenue of winning is, I mean, you could just say, Hunkamus is probably like, JFK, stop! I'm farming, chill, you're not the carry of this game. But maybe
Yeah.
JFK is just like, I'm the carry every game, shut up. Doesn't quite work out here, though. Oh,
Oh, could
the
be a
funny
good
man with the
snowball.
funny moving around nicely dodges everything and gets a root on Alchemist, which is pretty nice, but they just don't have follow-up, and even the follow-up is the MF ult. And now Dragon is up with no MF ult, but Funny Man does not have an avenue to get back into this fight. It's literally going to be an ultimate from him, because if he shows his face anywhere close to these champions, he will die.
Oh yeah, definitely. With the amount of CC that they have, that Royal has on the side of their team, if Funny Man gets a bit too close, he's definitely dead. But
That being
you
said,
don't
he's Jin.
see. He is Jin. And he does have his ulti up, but, ooh, JFK getting pulled.
The nice thing about this for Vanity is if he wins this trade, he can just walk back after getting the crash off and teleport in, because he's got teleport advantage in about 2 seconds. However, Alchemist getting a flash out of Raven, but also being at half health, makes this dragon fight even harder. Now, they haven't called Vanity back yet, so it doesn't look like they want to teleport. They just want to pressure JFK more. Maybe they don't know JFK's teleport is on cooldown. But man, if that Mordekaiser walks back, it's so good for him. Here comes the Poppy ult, does not hit the Jin though. And now Hoodie Man tanky enough to totally take this without any issue for now. He's eventually going to have to get some follow-up, but no one's coming. They're just so far away. Jin doesn't have ult, so he can't really follow up. Hoodie Man running to his tower, not going to be able to find Solace there. Seraphine ult looks okay, but there's no follow-up after the Hoodie Man dies. So now this dragon fight gets even harder, especially without Jin ult. Now this cage is pretty good. I just don't think there's follow-up. Funny Man is full health finally, but Alchemist bursts him down pretty quickly, and Alchemist still has Egg. But Raven is in a good position to try to get something. No Veigar ult, but if he can get 1 or 2 good Qs on Anivia, they can maybe at least get Egg, maybe more. But maybe they just don't want to extend it out because they don't have Smite. JFK is dead. Now, Mordekaiser does have teleport as well, so they could fight afterwards. I think they're going to lose the dragon here. You know what? Just take the tower. I don't think you have to teleport in the Nunu. Or the Mordekaiser, sorry. But Raven has to dodge a snowball. He does not do so. Val here. Not going to commit because the follow-up is just wanting to recall.
The MF ulti is back up though. If they want to keep looking for this extended trade, MF is full health. Could do some damage against that lowish health Jin. But Mordekaiser just doing his thing in this top lane.
Yeah. It's good that TD Royal got the dragon. Very good.
Yes.
Because they
It is
need
very-
that to start working towards their win condition. But now they've
Okay.
unearthed a new beast, right?
Helium Bamboo.
can
Yep,
say-
there's the pause.
You can say we're not scared of Soul anymore, but you gotta be a little scared of that Mordekaiser.
Yeah. You definitely have to be afraid of that 7-2 Mordekaiser. Did your game just freeze? 'Cause mine just froze.
It does that. Yep. After a
Okay,
pause, it'll
yeah.
freeze for a moment, and it should unfreeze momentarily. Do not freak out. Do not go Soulkeeper. Do not say Riot. It's just a known issue that always happens and will resolve hopefully soon. I've never seen it like freeze like this and then break. I guess that's technically possible, but here we go. Yeah.
Looks like the game's running again. But I was going to talk about, there's only about a 3,000 gold deficit in the top lane right now, so...
That's the entire team
JFK.
deficit as well.
Yeah. All of the gold lead is in that top lane right now. You can see, looking at it, surprisingly, actually, I'm surprised it's 3,000 gold in the top lane, but almost everybody else is ahead on the side of Poro, too. The only person who's behind is behind 300 gold, and that's the Nautilus is behind. But Vygar's up about 600 gold, Jin's up about 500. Bot lane's about even. The Poppy's
Giving
up
those 6
about
grubs to
30
use.
gold.
This is
There we
pretty
go.
good. Yeah,
He's gonna
'cause
get
the
that
counter
objective
tower
bounty.
would help a little bit. Funny Man's actually just a little bit caught out. No one is here because they're trying to stop Renekton. Now you're just leaving your mid lane open, and I'm not even sure if JFK is worth it. You lost your 80 carry and possibly your mid tower for this, and he can just flash out like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Royals definitely should be able to take mid tower here. They need to wait for the next wave. Mordekaiser is going to come in. Mordekaiser has flank position, though. That's really
Right, but
spooky. You have to be careful of that
there's
Mordekaiser.
just no CC, so I don't think the Vanity can catch anyone, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Feels bad for Royal though. They make a play and they lose their ADK for it. Or sorry, feels bad for
Poro.
Poro though. Yeah, sorry. TD of some variety. They make a
Yeah.
play, they lose their ADK for it, and then they don't even get anything except for JFK slash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they lost top tower, too. Are they pretty good, actually? I feel like it should be with the 3,000 gold deficit that TD Royal has, but, I never fully understood the bounty system, or the objective bounty system.
Oh, wait, this hook
Ooh.
is pretty good. Nunu does not have the ability to run away. He doesn't have the ability to flash away, and Seraphine ult goes a little bit wide because he's too fast. Now, Decipher is in a little bit of trouble. MF ult is pretty good, but it's just on shielded people. Nunu is again in trouble, can't even channel the ultimate. Will channel the snowball to run away, but Bandit is just going to flash it. Ignores the Nunu to get onto Husky, and Husky will not survive the Mordekaiser ult, and suddenly TD Poro has made a play that works. You picked the Nautilus for a reason. Maybe it doesn't go support, but it still hooks just as good.
Yeah. Yeah, the Nautilus is definitely doing better than I was expecting. 0-1-3. Just down 1 CS now, but that Nunu not looking like the pick right now, going 1-4. And JFK just really having a rough time
They're
in this
trying to
top
force
lane.
something with Decipher ulting out one person, but the one person he ulted was Jin, and Jin still has the ability to play from long range. Now it looks like they're not going to force too hard. They just wanted to stop the inhib from going down, and that will be successful, while JFK is getting a lot of gold for himself. If he gets his tower, which he has 6 scrubs, so it should be pretty possible. That is a ton of gold back in his name.
Yeah, let's check that gold deficit now. Only about 2,400 behind now. So he's coming back. He's coming back. It looks like, I think he's finishing up the Mauve Malmortius second, actually, which is kind of surprising to me. I've always been told, I get it, but my philosophy's always been, when you're behind,
why
you
Mauve?
need...
You can't even face the enemy AD carry, just isn't able to dodge enough, and will go down to the AD carry.
Yeah. That Jin just 4 shots him, does like probably a quarter of his health bar with that 4th shot, so yeah. No armor, Jin gonna do basically true damage to him at this point with that static shift IE.
Okay, so Poro has an advantage for 20 seconds. However, teleport is up. Nunu is in a good position to ultimate, kind of, if he doesn't die. The ultimate is going off entirely, but it's only on Hurting Man. He will go down low, but not low enough to die. Mordekaiser ult is going to have to save this pretty hard. I mean, not really. They've got everyone, right? The egg. Oh my gosh, that's really funny just seeing an egg in Mordekaiser.
In the Shadow Realm. Yeah.
So they're not even going to bother with Dragon. They're going straight to Baron.
Yeah.
I'm definitely the type of player that likes to take my soul advantages whenever I can, so I take that dragon just to ensure. But this is definitely the right play. I'm just really, adverse to giving up dragons.
Yeah.
Just take the Baron. It's pretty free. Nunu is not walking in here. He doesn't have flash. I cannot see how Valkyrie could possibly...
I'm in the middle of something.
Meanwhile, Dragon will go over to TD Royal, assuming that Nunu can do it pretty quickly. They've only got 1 dragon, so their Dragon Slayer stacks aren't that high. They've got some damage. It might even be a gold bounty, which is nice. So you are opening yourself up to that, but if you're confident in your ability to end the game with Baron, it's definitely the right call.
Oh yeah, definitely. See, yeah, they are going to get that second Drake. It is going to be an Ocean, so it is an Ocean Soul game, and it'll help. It'll definitely help having that, but it doesn't really matter when the entirety of TD Royal or TD Poro can just one-shot the enemy team. All that health regen is not gonna matter that much, even if you do get that Ocean Soul, if they manage to stall this game out that long. But I imagine Royal should be able to close this out with this Baron buff. All they need is about 1 more team fight.
And they have so many tools to start team fights. If it's just a straight Gen W, Seraphine ult flash, not up yet, but still, can go through some teammates as well. Flash Cage, Nautilus, of course, very good at starting team fights, or just by bullying Mordekaiser until they have to answer them, and then getting the rest of the structures on the other side of the map.
I think it's interesting that Jin's buying. I guess Nunu. I was gonna say, Jin's buying this the Lord Dom's third, and there's no armor to be found on the side of TD Royal, but there's some. Poppy has that Dead Man's. Nunu's building for, I think it's a Gargoyles is what builds out of the Wing Moon Plate and Chain Vest. believe it is gargoyles. Maybe it's dead man's. I don't know. I don't play tanks. I only do damage. I don't play tanks.
Yeah, and
But,
you know, Jin might just be thinking that he's going to be trying to target Nunu in his face whenever Nunu rolls a snowball. Because unless Jin's going for an execution, it's not going to be hitting the low health targets. Meanwhile, here comes the execution. But see, like, even now, having less damage against squishy targets doesn't matter that much. You already get the flash out of Alchemist.
yeah.
And being able to poke people out before you get an engage off is pretty powerful. That Misfortune Root is pretty strong. Decipher will go down. That's a tower as well. And they've committed numbers here. JFK had to teleport top lane. And it's
probably gonna solo die. Yeah.
I mean, I
He's
don't
gonna
know.
die in his
Top
shadow
lane
realm, it looks
confuses
like.
me, but this looks pretty clear. Even through the ultimate. And now the other hook! You can just start fights on the other side. You don't even need to rely on your Mordekaiser supremacy. Your 4v4 is just too good.
Hoodie Man landing like 4 hooks in a row there under tower. So I guess I was talking trash about this Nautilus jungle pick, but he is making it work.
I mean,
It definitely surprises me. But I know.
I don't know that this is this game you want to look at to be like, yeah, we should draft Nautilus jungle, because I feel like it could have been anything with engage. I feel like it was more Val here tripping over himself, messing up top lane, rather than the strength of Nautilus. But Nautilus had some good defensive plays.
Yeah. And now he's making some good offensive plays in this mid/late game.
Yes. Absolutely.
like-
The engages are on point. Just, I don't know if it justifies the jungle pick. It was a nice flex. I'm not sure that this means that you bring it back. But that being said, you win the game, it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, right now Nautilus jungle's gonna have 100% win rate in Arbiter, so that's gonna be good.
Based, yes. But more than that, it's something that the enemy team has to think about every time you pick Nautilus.
Yeah.
Even if you're
it's gonna
like,
be a
okay,
Nautilus
Hoodie
jungle.
Man, you're not getting Nautilus again. The enemy team's going to be confused, like, do we have to ban supports now?
Yeah.
Because that might be a Nautilus jungle.
I mean, it did kind of make sense. The Poppy is a bit of a counter to the Nautilus, so it did make sense to flex the Nautilus into the jungle. But and JFK looks like he might be getting caught out. Nope, just gonna dash out. That's what is it called? Slash and something, cut and dice or something.
Slice and dice.
Slice and dice. That's what it is.
Classic phrase.
Yeah, slice and dice. I say I knew it was cute. It was cute as Cold and Meek. Knew that one.
So this dragon will be everything because the Baron power play was 2 inhibitors, but it was the 2 bot inhibitors. So it still gives TD Royal some chance to fight for this dragon. And if they get this, it could signal that the game is getting delayed enough to where they might be able to fight it back.
Yeah,
but if
TD
they
Royal
lose this, it's just so hard to see them coming back for 2 more dragons.
Oh yeah, no. This last dragon fight has to be a Hail Mary from the side of TD Royal at this point.
Who's face checking? They're both asking, like, please face check, please face check. No, you. No,
And
you.
I was just
Valkyrie
gonna
will be the
walk
one
up.
to face check, and he will be the one to die.
Yeah.
You can see that conversation between the 2 players, like, someone face check, please. And Alchemist is like, absolutely not. You do it. You'll be fine. Valkyrie can't even flash out.
Yeah, and Valhyr was not fine, as it turns out.
As it turns out, no. They don't even need the 3rd dragon. No reason to delay the game this long. You've got 2 super waves coming in. Now, they have kind of botched the delivery of the bottom wave, but they might just need this mid wave. Or at least they can get out Husky's ult, perhaps. Looks like they're going to teleport and try to end off this wave. Again, bot wave is going to take a little bit longer to get here, but they could honestly just stall it out. They don't even care if Valkyr comes back up. Jin ult will clear the waves. And get Cypher down to half, by the way. That seems so cool. Yep, very nice.
Under half. About 200 health. 300 health on Decipher there.
And bot wave will finally come in. Now, is Jin going to get snowballed? Absolutely not. But they do decide to back off and get this dragon after all. That being said, I don't think there's a world where anyone on TD Royal can come out and contest this. So, safe and sound. Pretty easy dragon for them.
Yeah, this should be sole point just going over to the side of TD Poro. And, yeah, I mean, at this point, what can Royal even do? Like, you have to turtle. You have to just defend against the super minion waves right now. And I'm now just checking the gold. There's a 4,000 gold difference in top lane.
There's quite a bit more in the team def now, too, in the gold deficit as well.
Yeah, almost 10k.
Not just top lane.
Yeah, almost 10k gold difference between the 2 teams right now. And it looks like Poro was actually just going to go for the Baron. And it makes sense. Maybe they'll even be able to catch out JFK because he is very overextended right now.
Bother. they could grab a free JFK. That croc is worth about 150 gold on the markets. Not worth it. Let's get the worm instead.
Yep,
You
yep.
can push out as much as you want, JFK. We're gonna take the objective and work on the final inhibitor tower, or maybe even just end the game trying for it again in the mid and bot wave. I mean, this should respawn relatively soon, so I doubt that's the right play, but they have no wrong plays.
Yeah. At this point, there's nothing that anything TD Poro does is going to be the right play at this point. They're so far ahead, it doesn't matter. They can just shove their lead down the throats of TD Royal, basically. And I don't think there's really anything TD Royal can do to match it, except maybe a god tier MF ult combined with Noodles. Like, I think that's their only avenue to potentially come back from this game at this point.
Well, they've got a good start in the vision on the top side. Mid
Yep.
and bot inhibs are respawning this wave, so they've got a nice timing window as well. They're not going to be pushed in anymore. So it's just a question of if Val here can find a really nice flank. But I'm not even sure, even if he got entirely on the back line, you still got a Mordekaiser to deal with. I mean, you have to get both Jin and Raven. Jin ult is just going to be used for wave clear and bursting down these people. Val here gets charmed, actually, and isn't going to find a good ult because he's dead. Wait, actually, he lives there a little bit longer than I said. He's just alive, and now they've actually lost one, but Mordekaiser is the real problem. Will Mordekaiser just clean this up? Yes, Riven is in a lot of trouble, but that's just a support on his back. He's fine, and Mordekaiser's just destroying everything else. Anivia is going to be resurrecting into death, and I believe that should be the first game. TD Poro are going to clean it up 1-0 purely off, honestly, the back of top lane. You know, the rest of the lanes did fine. They did their job, but you are not losing this game whenever Vanity gets that far ahead.
Yeah. The 12-2 Mordekaiser is doing a little bit of damage
Ooh,
there.
flash forward for that final kill. The funny man making a funny little last play.
And yeah, game one going over to the side of TD Poro, which I don't know what you were feeling, but that's not what I was from those two drafts.
I felt like the draft was completely irrelevant from the game. Honestly, it did not go the way that the drafts intended them to. I don't think either team really was able to play for their draft, mostly because of how distorted the game became whenever Vanity Pain just got gifted such a lead. You know, it doesn't really matter what jungler Hoodie Man plays if Vanity is just going to get multiple kills for free. You know, he could be playing cards as jungle, he could be playing Yuumi jungle. It's probably going to end up pretty similar.
Yeah. I was going to say, here's the part of the draft that mattered. Mordekaiser versus Renekton. That was the only part of that draft that mattered in that game.
Well,
Like,
I
let's
think
be
that
completely honest.
if you're part of the two teams, I think you take away two things from this is that you don't have to play Nautilus Flex jungle. Like, you got lucky winning the game whenever you did something so cute and it was just okay. And you really don't want to be putting Valkyrie on Yunu unless you're going to clean up everything. Because that Yunu pick did not look real at any point of the game. He was getting outfarmed by Nautilus, which you're usually going to be outfarmed as Nunu, but by Nautilus means that there's something really freaky going on, and the tempo that he was using not farming was not leading to advantages either.
You have to look at that 1v2 dive against that Mordekaiser, where Mordekaiser cleared the entire wave, and they still decided to just try and dive that Mordekaiser, and Mordekaiser ended up with a double kill, and that's really felt like the turning point, at least in top lane. At that point, JFK couldn't really do anything. He was trading, he was winning those trades against the Mordekaiser before that, but then you call your Nunu up, say, hey, we can dive him, and you give over that double kill. Suddenly, Mordekaiser's a massive problem, and you can't 1v1 him as Renekton anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting Hoodie Man another chance to prove himself on Nautilus. It's not like he played badly or anything. It's just like usually whenever you go for picks like that, it's for the wow factor and for specific goals. And I don't see that game proving any of those goals. And the wow factor is now gone. Where if you see, it's nice for future drafts if you pick Nautilus and they have to be a little bit cognizant of it. But honestly, if I was against Royal and they picked, Poro and they picked Nautilus, I'd be like, okay, yeah, put that jungle deal. Like, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to see if Royal can take this. If Royal can take this, come back. Who is Humble? I didn't recognize Humble. Is he on either of the rosters? Is that their coach?
Probably a coach or something. It's not really.
Yeah.
too big a deal. Either way, teams are back in the lobby. I don't think they have chosen side yet, or I guess they have because they're saying they're reordering.
Yeah, I
Okay,
believe
never mind. The
Royal
teams are
is
just reordering
going.
without deciding yet. That's really funny.
Yeah, I think
So
from what
tacitly,
I'm.
Royal has basically decided that they're going blue side because they're deciding on the blue side, but they haven't technically communicated that, I guess. Or sorry, Royals said they're going red side. Okay, yeah, JFK has confirmed they are going red side, which should give them some options. But a thing to point out is red side's really nice for counterpicking. They basically got to counterpick even with the flex. They got whatever
Yeah.
they wanted. They got to pick a Nivea into Vagar. They got to pick Renekton into Mordekaiser. They got, I mean, the Nunu we won't talk about because they didn't know what was going on with jungle. But still, like I believe every lane except for AD carry got to counterpick. And it did not show up at all. So
Yeah.
red side is a little scary if you just proven that TD Poro don't really need counterpick to be able to defeat you. But at the same time, sometimes your counterpick doesn't go the way you want. That doesn't mean you don't have other counterpicks. Maybe they expect they can beat the Mordekaiser with a different pick, and Renekton either just wasn't quite it with the Nunu, or just something else will work better.
We shall have to see once we get into draft. Looks like we're missing one person in the lobby. Helium Bamboo left, and there. All right, he's back. So we should be able to get started with this draft any moment now. And yeah, well, what do you want to see changed up, at least from Royals draft?
I don't
What
want to
what do
see
you think?
Nautilus versus Nunu Jungle. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm
yeah.
being a little too harsh because it's not like Cody Man fed or anything. It's just like you tried your gimmick. It was cute. Congratulations on getting on stream. Great job. Thumbs up. Play real jungler. That's really
Right.
negative. I'm sorry.
I feel like that's a I feel like that's a Doki jungler that you'd see. You'd definitely see Doki picking up that the Nautilus jungle at some point and taking Ignite and not Flash.
Look, I'm all for letting people cook. So if they want to continue with it, that's fine. I'm just saying that from this vantage point, there are other junglers that could do the same thing but better. So that's what I would want to see change from the winning side. For the losing side, you've got to change everything.
Oh
It
yeah,
did not feel like
definitely.
they had a strong part of that draft. Anivia was the only thing that maybe could work, but you got lucky by being blue side and getting that counter pick. I don't think Royal's going to give that to you again.
No.
So the real question is, what do you keep, right? Do you ban some of the things that you couldn't deal with, like the Mordekaiser, or do you perhaps make sure that you get a jungler that can set up those dives properly so that way Renekton can get ahead without giving Vanity such a lead?
I mean, TD Royal is on red side this time, so we might see them actually just trying to get the Mordekaiser for themselves. We know JFK
Mm-hmm.
can play it, so maybe it'll be an early round Mordekaiser, and maybe JFK will be able to get flex his Mordekaiser muscles a little bit. But we'll have to see. And we're still waiting for everybody to ready up, but I don't know what's happening. Okay, looks like
Yeah, they're
TD
just having
Royal
a
is
few.
ready.
We're just having some fun team stuff that happens in the background every once in a while. No biggie. Looks like we are getting into draft. Once
Yep, and we
again,
shall
TD versus TD. I think they just want to set up JFK for success. And the game will look entirely different. That is one thing to notice about game one is that like it really did revolve around top lane because Anivia could get into a pretty good position there if the top lane isn't such a disadvantage.
Yeah. Like I said, that level or that 2v1 dive where they gave the Mordekaiser a double kill was definitely not what you want to see from the top lane matchup on the side of TD Royal. And the oh, they hands pretty quick actually. Tarek, Ezreal on the side of TD Royal, and Diego Hecarim actually from the side of TD Poro. So it looks like they're pinching that jungler pool, saying, "Hey, you didn't look that great on the Nunu, so we're banning your mains." And the Ash ban as the final ban coming out from TD Poro makes a lot of sense. She'll have to see. Do you think Royal picks up that misfortune again? Like I get that's a bit of the
Um,
comfort pick, but it didn't seem like it did terribly well. It didn't really do too much in that early game slash
I
late game
mean,
in the last game.
you change the jungle matchup and maybe Misfortune could come back again. I think it's more about answering what Poro first picks here.
Yeah.
Because if they first pick AD carry, that'll just change so much about what you want to play bot lane. And if they don't,
Mm-hmm.
you probably don't want to answer. Oh, okay, well,
Yumi
okay,
Hover. I
we're
don't
getting
Timo. Okay, yeah. Getting trolled. Getting trolled a little bit by TD Poro, unless they
let's
warlock from that first pick Timo.
Let's see what's actually locked in before we discuss AD carry for Royal. But
Yeah. I imagine
Miss
this
Fortune
will
would be
just
good in the
be.
Teemo.
Yeah, Misfortune
I
would be good
like
in the
this
team.
adaptation. Like, no offense to Nautilus, I'm sure he does great in some jungle games, but Amumu is just a better version so many times.
And there's the
Uh,
Mordekaiser pick that we talked about
Yep,
on the side
counter
of TD
taking it
Royal.
for yourself. I've definitely seen JFK pop off on this champion, so making sure that it won't happen the opposite way while giving yourself the chance to do it now is such a good pick. I do like it a lot. And with that, you don't have to pick 80 carry. You could almost pick support or jungle here.
Yeah,
That being said, you did say the 80 carry for Royal has a bit of a champ pool deficit, so maybe you do want to select it. Is that our first Aurora that I've personally casted?
it
They're
might
very
be. I'm
fun.
excited. I'd enjoy it. I'd love to see it. Come on, lock it in, Poro. You can do it. I mean, they've already trolled us on the draft so far, so I don't expect this to be a real lock-in. We're just covering it for now, but we shall have to see. You got 6 seconds, and it's gonna be a Darius, maybe. Still not locked in. We shall see, and it's an Olaf actually. So that's an Olaf top. It's been a while since I've seen that actually, but
I
Olaf
kind of
is
like it
like,
here. It's
yeah,
more the same of just a side lane threat that can really pop off if Valkyrie and JFK fumble the bag again on giving Vanity too much gold. Now, I don't think they will. I'm pretty sure JFK and Valkyrie have gotten more successful top dives than unsuccessful ones.
yeah.
So it's definitely still difficult, but Syndra is really nice as well to pick
Mm-hmm.
up some
That
nice
blind pick
diversification of
Syndra.
damage and ability. Yeah. So one thing to notice for Royal, however, is that they almost certainly have to pick an AD mid if that brand is not mid lane, which is
Oh
most
yeah,
likely not.
100%. Because right
And
now they
Syndra
already
does
got
pretty
double
well
AP
into a lot
comp.
of those.
It's actually gonna
Zeri
be
is a
the
nice one though.
Zeri. Yeah, Zeri will definitely bring a lot of that AD damage. Now they can pinch the AD carries champion pool if Royal decides to go that route. Poro, I imagine, will be sending out mid bans here in Kog'Maw. Not a champion we see too much, I feel like.
I especially am concerned with the Kog'Maw ban because that would have been so much damage for magic damage for TD Poro, and I just don't know that it would have really fit their comp. But maybe
No,
they have a
definitely
way
not.
lane that would really get punished by Kog'Maw, and they just don't care about the comp issue. Because if you lose to Kog'Maw in lane, it doesn't really matter what other 4 champions you put with him. If he's fed, he probably will do the same thing anyways.
Oh
So,
yeah,
I don't hate the ban for sure.
yeah, I do. I think the Kog'Maw ban makes sense. I don't know if the Funny Man really plays it, but we'll have to see. Then the Varus, they banned it first game. Royal banned it first game, so it makes sense to keep the Varus out of here, I guess. I'm not a big fan of the Varus myself, but that's just me. I'm not a Varus player personally, but he did just get buffed this patch, the on hit Varus, I believe. So maybe they're more thinking in terms of that. But and the Poppy ban actually, trying to keep that out of the hands of
Okay, so this is what I was thinking might be possible. It could be a Zeri mid. Now, I do like that
yeah,
they don't save their flex and fall into that trap once again. Just picking up the MF here so that way they can keep something other things a mystery. But MF Zeri feels really good here just because there are a lot of times where you need to burst out this Olaf. Or I don't know. I really like the Zeri mid here for sure for the flex.
yeah. It could be Brand. Remember, Brand's like a Pentaflex. He can go into any role, really. So that
That's
could be
true.
Brand support with the Misfortune. It could be a Misfortune support. It could be Misfortune Zeri bot lane. We do not know. And it's just going to be a Sivir Zeri? We'll have to see. I do like the Sivir on the side of
Mhm.
TD Poro, though. Like, you just hit R, Olaf's going to run at them, Amumu's going to run at them. Like, I think Sivir would be a really good pickup, but it probably will be Jinx. I think Jinx is just too strong right now, and it is the Jinx. So we'll have to see what TD Royal picks here to get a final conclusion for where these flex picks are going. That brand could be going jungle, could be going mid, could be going support. We don't even know. And like I said, that MF could be an MF support. I've seen it. It's been a bit. Could be MF Zeri bot lane though. It's definitely possible.
I would hate to see MF Zeri bot lane into Jinx. I feel like Jinx just runs over them. Okay. Not clearing up
Support.
the confusion. That's for damn sure.
I'm guessing that's a
Now,
Maokai support brand jungle,
I mean,
but you're right.
sure. It could just be literally anything. Now you're probably right. We will get confirmation pretty soon. It's just funny that they pick another famous character for flexing. But there's no
Yeah,
way that Zeri and MF are laning together. I'm sorry, that's just not.
I know. Could be brand mid. Could be brand mid. Maokai jungle, Zeri MF bot lane. It's definitely possible. I doubt it, but it's possible. Well,
Regardless, um, one thing I'm concerned about is that the Renekton Nunu ganks were really like one of the easier comps to coordinate. Mordekaiser plus
hmm
any of these other champions might be a little bit more difficult. I guess Mordekaiser or Maokai would be pretty okay. Mordekaiser Brand, not the easiest two champions to gank with, even if they are very effective whenever done well. Even
oh
harder into
yes.
someone like Olaf with that ultimate. So
hmm
top lane is going to be explosive, and I'm concerned for JFK in this 2v2 matchup.
And I am actually going to learn something. I'm guessing when you ult as Olaf, you have to ult before the Mordekaiser ults to stop the Mordekaiser ulti. I don't think it'll cleanse off the Mordekaiser ulti if you ult afterwards.
I
But
have no idea what the cleanse changed because they
yeah, right.
decided
That's what
that
I was
some
going to say.
champions shouldn't be.
They decided Mordekaiser wasn't strong enough, so they had to make it sure he can't cleanse his ult. You know, that was his counterplay for a while.
The
But you
nice
know,
thing for
there's chances
Poro
that he
though
doesn't
is that yes, they're pulling all this pressure off for Vanity Pain on this Olaf, but quietly the Funny Man could probably pop off with Jinx Seraphine. That lane is very good and will scale really well into the late game. So
hmm
Royal has to be a little bit worried about, putting all their eggs in the top lane basket because I don't think JFK will pop off the same way on Mordekaiser. I mean, yes, he will shut down the Olaf pretty easily, but there might be easier answers. And the 4v4 goes heavily in the favor of Poro if they put too many eggs into the Mordekaiser basket, with additional ways for Poro to start the fight. So last time you saw the Mordekaiser had a Nautilus and other champions that could start a fight, so that way Mordekaiser could be on the sideline, draw people, and then they start a fight and they win. This time, Mordekaiser is against the team that has a bunch of ways to start the fight. So if Mordekaiser is like chilling, getting towers, you might just lose the 5v4 on the other side of the map before you know it, and it won't be worth it if you don't play it exactly correctly. So JFK
Yeah.
has an additional wrinkle to deal with. But I do think that he's in a better position to do well in this top lane fight than he did last time. So
Mhm.
uh, JFK has a chance to definitely pop off here. There's just a lot of hoops for all of TD Royal to go through to make that happen.
Yeah. And we shall have to see. Well, we'll let you know soon who's actually jungling between this brand and the Maokai. We should be finding out soon, but you're right. I doubt that it's the Zeri and MF together in the bot lane, but it's still a possibility. People can dream.
People
My
can
support
dream.
loves MF support, so we shall
Fair
see.
enough.
It's picking now. We got that Mordekaiser going top, so we know Mordekaiser's not jungling. We do know that. And
Will
it's
be the
actually
Maokai
Maokai
jungle,
jungle. All right,
which
now
means
do
that
we
it's
see is Brand
probably
going to be
brand
picked mid?
support.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
okay,
imagine
maybe
it's
not.
Brand
Maybe
support.
not. Maybe we can wait a minute and just figure it out, I guess, because speculation is kind of pointless at this point. But again, Mordekaiser Maokai, a much better 2v2 for that top lane, which again is a pretty heavy inflection point in this comp for both teams.
hmm
So I do like that because I mean, I'm sure Hellyman's brand is fine, but it would be concerning to lead into that same trap again, of just not quite executing properly and letting Vanity pop off. This way,
Yeah.
it's a lot simpler. It's really hard to mess up Mordekaiser Maokai ganks.
hmm And it
So
does
it
look like
is
it's that
very mid.
very
Yeah.
mid, so we won't be seeing MF support today. That's a shame. But yeah, like
Uh,
you were saying, that Zeri, you do want that AD threat in the mid lane, so the Zeri mid does make sense. I know, I would have loved to see MF support.
regardless.
Yeah.
Regardless, bot lane is something interesting to talk about too, because I didn't really recalibrate to the MF brand, but I think Seraphine Jinx still has a pretty good time of it. And if the Funny Man is allowed to pop off, it doesn't. I mean, Jinx answers Mordekaiser a lot better than MF does, I think, which is what Mordekaiser had to face last time, right? Right. So,
Yes.
like, whenever Mordekaiser's fed, he can kind of just ignore MF as long as he doesn't get trapped by a crazy ultimate. Jinx is not exactly the
hmm
same way. He has to ultimate the Jinx to be able to shut that down if Funny Man is fed. So I think JFK has a little bit harder of a time than Vanity did on the Mordekaiser if that snowball happens in the opposite direction. And that'll be
Yeah.
something we'll have to find out.
All right, but the teams are all locked in, so we'll throw it over to a quick break while we wait for out the spectator delay, and we shall see you all in about 3.5 minutes, somewhere around there, maybe 4. We'll see.
Tell me what's the point if I lose myself? Spend a couple days with nobody else, holding in my breath just to see if I can find you in my dreams. Oh, I'm getting tired of losing faith in everything I see. The beauty in the stars above have lost their hold on me. 'Cause I'm a sinner, I'm not a saint, a heart of a winner. So why do I turn away? Somewhere in the deepest blue, I will find you. 'Cause I'm a sinner, and God knows I'm born this way. Looking at myself like I'm someone else. I can't feel my pulse, better get some help. God, I feel so tired, I can't keep covering up my mental health. No, I'm getting tired of losing faith in everything I see. The beauty in the stars above have lost their hold on me. 'Cause I'm a sinner, I'm not a saint, a heart of a winner. So why do I turn away? Somewhere in the deepest blue, I will find you. 'Cause I'm a sinner, and God knows I'm born this way.
Welcome back to the Rift for the TD matchup. And this time we don't have a Nautilus, but we might still have a spicy level 1. Looking like the teams are still 5-pointing.
Yeah, just a 5-point this
biggie.
time. No flash is going to be blown from JFK at level 1 this time, but we'll have to see. Olaf is vanity's getting close, so maybe there will be a flash. Maybe I spoke too soon, but I imagine there won't be, just personally. But we shall see in this matchup. It looks like
Yep.
Olaf's just walking away.
Well,
Brand's gonna walk towards this Amumu.
that's a bit of damage coming out, but I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
Health regen will be pretty good. Might get some vision out.
Yeah. See, Olaf is in the red side jungle. We shall see. And personally, I do not like that Misfortune skin. That is the Gun
Okay.
Goddess
Just
Misfortune, the
calls
ultimate
it
skin.
out. Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Mhm.
like that skin. Misfortune's my favorite champion. I do not like the Gun Goddess Misfortune skin personally. That's just my own
Well,
personal opinion, though. A lot of
maybe
people
Husky
like
can
playing it.
convince you.
We'll see. I have been playing the battle, whatever it's called, Battle Bunny one. That one I've been liking.
Understandable.
Yeah, it's a good
So-
one.
Valkyr starting bot side, Hoodie Man starting bot side. However, Hoodie Man knows Valkyr started bot side, so that's exciting.
Yeah. And it looks like actually Poro's bot lane is going to get that early game prio. Not really pushing the lane as much as I would like to see to try and get that level 2 first into this whatchamacallit, brand MF. You always want to try and get that level 2 first in the bot lane, but my
I
personal
mean, they've
opinion.
got the health advantage and the farm advantage actually, so it's looking
Yeah,
really good for Funny Man. I think he should get level 2, and maybe even empowered E from Seraphine could come out.
They're
Will
1
Husky
minion off
respect
right
it?
now.
Right. I don't think they're respecting it, but it doesn't look like Killian wants to commit like crazy amounts to it. Decipher getting level 2 before Husky because they did have to walk away from minions. And still taking a chunk of damage. So,
Yeah.
Funny Man doing great early.
Got hit by that Jinx W, followed up by the Seraphine. So yeah, just quite a bit of damage coming out from the bot lane onto that brand there. But we'll see if Misfortune can get those bounces. Those bounces can really
Okay.
hurt, especially because
Hoodie
Misfortune
Man-
actually went first strike this game.
Wait, I just want to point out Hoodie Man is completely sinning. Look at those still untaken camps in the bot side. Right now he's gaining level 3 on top lane. He knows where the lane that matters the most. That's a huge wave they're going into though. They will be in the 1v2. The shield is nice. I think they're gonna be able to just have to run away actually. I mean, JFK, oh wait, do I get the Q? It's a flash out of a Mumu. Vanity is still chasing. That shield isn't up for another 5 seconds. I think Flash is out though. So they get JFK's Flash, but they spend Ghost and Flash to do it. And Hoodie Man has 14 CS. Now, Mordecai is also here, flashes in, gets the Q back. This should absolutely be a kill. Q will get it. Valkyrie goes down, so it's first blood, first for Olaf. The shield is really good. Hoodie Man doesn't have the damage, I believe, and there's minions. So JFK should get another one. And that's 2 kills for their top laner and a kill for Vanity. Mordekaiser popping off again.
Yeah, we're just apparently Mordekaiser is the OP champion in this series so far. Who knew?
Well,
it seems legal from
I'm not
Vanity.
sure, because Vanity is doing a lot of damage here. JFK does have
He's
a
also
full minion
fighting
wave
in
and
the
a red
minion
buff though. He's very close. He
Ooh.
will go down, is able to walk away, I'm pretty sure, because lifesteal. But
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, that was very close. Really close there. A little too close for comfort, but you got to remember Olaf does get that extra lifesteal and attack speed when he's low on health, so it does feel nice, and it is a little hard to calculate that when you're against that Olaf. You don't see the Olaf pop a lot, so maybe JFK is a little unpracticed against it, isn't used to how much attack speed that Olaf gets when he is low. But we see Zeri here actually got quite a big CS lead on this Syndra, which surprises
Yeah,
me.
it's definitely bullying a lot. Raven has been under tower a lot and not been able to use the mana effectively to farm under tower and put pressure out. And Hoodie Man's only level 3. So they do get the stun and the stun. It might be enough, but it's just barrier flash. And Hoodie Man, I mean, a lot of those camps that you see on the map right now are still level 1. So there's not really much for him to return back to get farming again.
Yeah, you see it.
great advantage.
That guy's only up 1 camp right now, but it does, yeah. Like you're saying, Hoodie Man not really farming as much as you would like to see in this early game. But both top laners are 2-1 right now.
Yeah.
So let's see who's got more gold right now. Olaf by about 200.
Oh wait, this might be enough because there's no barrier, no flash. But luckily, Alchemist is able to just dash out because all of Raven's cooldowns were down. But the tide has turned thanks to that Amumu gank. Yes, would an Alchemist have? Well, if an Alchemist has a CS lead with the flash disadvantage, though, however, I imagine that the CS deficit may be reduced soon.
Yeah, especially Syndra should be able to get back and get that lost chapter. She's actually about 60, I think 170 gold off of it, so she's probably gonna try and stick around for a wave or 2 more so she can get that lost chapter. And you see Amumu's on the top side. It looks like he's going to try and get a gank on this top lane again before Mordekaiser. I think Mordekaiser's 6. Never mind.
Okay.
But
That's one way to solve. You know those Raptors and Krugs are level 1, but you know what? The enemy Raptors aren't. So fuck it.
Yeah,
just sometimes
true.
You just need to go to the enemy jungle if you're just going to ignore your camps entirely, you know?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, to be fair, they had vision of Val here on the bot side of the map. So it does make sense that Amumu would look for those just free Raptors. Free chickens, as I like to say. A good old fried chicken in the top side. And
the funny thing is that Valkyrie can't really make the crossplay because those camps are level 1, so they will be much less valuable. I mean, he probably still will if he doesn't get a gank off, although the gank is looking pretty real. Not level 6 from Maokai, so he will just walk them down, but he might just use that tempo instead to look for a dragon while Hoodie Man's on the grubs.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
and we're seeing kind of like the opposite of last game. Ooh, it's gonna be good. Like I said, Olaf did get that ult off before. Mordekaiser hasn't popped ulti yet, so Olaf burns his ulti, gets a good trade onto the Mordekaiser, but Mordekaiser still has his ult up, so it's going to be a little dangerous, but Amumu is on the top side of the map.
Yeah, if they can burst JFK, it doesn't really matter that his ult is down or is up, especially whenever you bring Syndra in. Now, someone might be the sacrifice. It looks like it's Vanity for now, but if Vanity can live, JFK will be in so much trouble. If he doesn't live, he's still in trouble, and Vanity's just walking away. He doesn't care. Ultimate timed out. Shield is up. Still in the face of JFK. Finally, the other team members come in. The Q is not going to come out in time, but can they finish off JFK? They just don't have the burst yet. There it goes. And they will finish him off, giving it over to Raven. And Zeri was only able to push in one wave in response. They will get the dragon as well, but Mordekaiser's threat dealt with for now.
Yeah. And you will see Royal actually loses the Drake to the Jinx ult. Ooh, that feels bad.
Yeah, I will go away for a second. What just happened? How did how did the other team get dragon?
Jinx ult, you know. And that's why you always want to. That's why you always got to sweep the pit and pull out the Drake. If you're on red side, you want to make sure that Jinx can't get that free ult. Yeah.
Because usually you're okay with the enemy team committing that many people to your top laner because you get the mid wave in and you get the dragon. If you don't even get that, it's a real disaster because now you're not building soul and your Mordekaiser stop snowballing.
Yep. Yeah, it does feel bad. We've all been there. We've all had those. I don't know. I'm an 80 carry player. I've gotten those Jinx rocket steals. It feels good when you're playing the Jinx, but it feels real bad from the side of TD Royal.
Yeah, jungle players don't really talk about that. They're just like, no, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I never missed mines. What are you talking about? It's never happened.
Right, exactly. Now this fight, my favorite Olaf because of the wave. I think JFK's Olaf doesn't even get the shield off.
I think the shield was actually down at that point in time, which is why Olaf ulted and just ran him down.
Yeah, JFK is just not respecting these 1v1s. I think the 2v2s have been a little sloppy from both sides, but that's the second game in a row where JFK has lost. I mean, even in this game, there were two 1v1s that JFK just slightly disrespected Vanity and paid for it.
It feels like JFK is playing a little bit with his ego here instead of with his brain. Call me crazy.
Or maybe the pressure is getting to him, you know, both times they've drafted this comp around top lane. That could be a lot to ask to make sure that you pop off. It's one thing to be like, oh, you can pop off on, you know, some kind of Ornn or something, and maybe we'll play through you, but we're probably going to play through bot lane. This time, they really need JFK to get ahead, and that can be a lot of pressure. Now, he might be getting ahead because of this play. Vanity does not have ult. The ultimate goes off, and he gets to get right under tower range. I don't think JFK cares, though. That tower can hit him another 3 times, and he doesn't care.
And that is a big shutdown over to JFK. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, a little bit of a greedy back there coming out from Vanity. Good read from the side of JFK to say, hey, I know Olaf's looking for a back here. He's probably in this bush, and just finding him and catching him with that ultimate while Olaf's ulti was down. Kind of catching Vanity with his pants down a little bit.
Still, just because JFK got back into this position where he might have a slight lead because of that, it matters about the amount of lead, right? Especially if he comes back and gets killed again. I cannot believe we're watching this on replay. The flash is good to dodge the hammer, but it might not even matter. Vanity's turn to take some tower shots. He doesn't care either. And this is definitely a game of top lane.
Yeah,
that being said, quietly the mid and bot lane for TD Poro doing pretty well. Jinx is pulling out. Oh wait, MFL pretty good. Not good enough though. Funny Man is quietly getting quite the lead here. MF is not going to be able to farm this well under tower. Syndra's already got a kill. If the top lane continues to trade back and forth like this, I think TD Poro's mid and bot could really pull through.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, you already have a pretty big lead on that Olaf in the top lane, and now guys, for gank, this could be another kill. I guess it's just kills over.
It's just back and forth. One more once again. No ghost up yet. It looks like it's really close. And Mumu is here. This ultimate could be really big. And now I think that Valhyr's just dead. Vanity also is going to be supported by Raven. So JFK is going to go down too. And I guess at the end of the day... Wait, is he? Yep, eventually, one day. Okay, there we go.
I think they're trying to give the kill over to Arbiter.
Wait, There's walking in, but he doesn't know that a Mumu has flash. Hoodie Man is going to live barely, and the rest of these people can definitely burst him. If they can catch him, they will. And Alchemist trying to make the hero play.
I mean, that was a little troll from Alchemist there.
Yeah. It's just 3 people trying to make a hero play in a row, or 2 people rather, and it just doesn't quite work out.
Yeah, you can see TD Poro is definitely playing around this top lane really well right now. You can see Revon, I don't know how that's pronounced, is always getting the shove out. Like, they are losing waves in the mid lane as the Syndra, but it don't think they care at this point. You got an Olaf who's 5-2. You can just kind of dumpster the Mordekaiser and 1v1 now. Like, what's
And thanks
Mordekaiser
to
really gonna do?
and thanks to a funny little rocket from a funny little man, they are up 6 grubs and a dragon, which is not where you want to see if you're a Royal fan. That is quite the deficit.
Yeah. Seraphine trying to freeze this wave here, but Misfortune's like, nah, no, you don't get this freeze.
So it does look like that will be a plate. Maokai is on the way. It might not even matter, though. Hullabaloo is just holding Husky here for so long. Valkyr will prevent any full answer, but getting Husky away with a full wave in tow for a funny man is still a win.
Oh, yeah, definitely there. And we're actually seeing Kraken Slayer first from Jinx. It's a little bit of an interesting build. They're not super tanky on the side of TD Royal, so I don't know if the Kraken Slayer first makes perfect sense here. You could have gone for the Static Shiv and another
here we go again.
lane.
JFK going for it. He's down a level. Both ultimates are up though, and I think that favors the Mordekaiser. Maybe Raven trying to get the 1v1 mid down a level as well. It doesn't really matter though because Burst versus AD carry. Burst wins a lot of the time, and JFK just dead again. I like how direct the camera was like, you've seen this before. Let's look mid.
Yeah, right. There's a fight going on.
We've already seen this.
Can't watch this top lane fight.
And that's so many plates going down top and bot lane. Funny Man is going to get so accelerated, and it just doesn't look like it because, oh, look at that top lane and that bounty. But Funny Man is going to be a real problem too.
Oh yeah, no. Olaf who gets ahead and Olaf with 6 kills is really hard to deal with, especially like as an AD carry who. I mean, like, let's be honest, the main damage threats from Royal are both AD carries, and how are they going to stop an Olaf? Olaf's just going to run him down. You can't CC him.
Surely this 2v1 works out. The tower will go down, which is a lot of gold for Vanity, but this is a pretty big shutdown to be giving over for that gold. I can't imagine him getting this kill on JFK. He should be able to get that shutdown over. And Hullabaloo also just randomly dies to an MF vault while we're not looking because of Decipher stun. And yet objective bounties are still coming on time because... just because you got to shut down on the Olaf in support does not make your team at all close to this 2 dragon and 6 scrub deficit.
Yeah. And on top of that, 4,000 gold lead in favor of TD Poro right now. So, TD Poro, I don't think we mentioned it, but TD Poro needs to win this series.
I was about to say Funny Man doesn't need to support if Amumu comes in, but Amumu cannot quite come in. Barely misses it.
One thing I was going to mention, we talked about this before the game, but I don't think we mentioned it on the stream, but TD Poro needs to win this series in order to stay in contention for playoffs, and TD Royal needs to win this series in order to stay in contention for first place. So this is a very important series for both teams here.
Okay, Raven should be able to just walk away, but he might want to try something because he moves behind him. Actually, just
blows up.
Alchemist.
Yeah. Just
did not
right first.
Oh, Hoodie Man is in... I mean, he's just in good ultimate position, right? Syndra may not have anything, but so it's okay that she's on the flank rate. Like, she already used her burst. Look at the other side of this fight. If they spend too much time on Amumu, this ultimate is going to pop everyone, and then Seraphine... Oh, but Funny Man doesn't want to go for it, which is respectable because of JFK's ult. I think that maybe there could have been a commitment, especially with Syndra from behind. Decide not to go for it. However, it doesn't even matter. They got a kill, yes, but they lost theirs earlier, and Olaf is just quietly taking an inhibitor. Okay, now, Raven will go down here, gets the shutdown to MF, which is good, but Vanity is just so strong off the back of this play.
Yeah. I don't know about that MF flash there. Flash to cancel the auto attack animation, I guess. Really important. But yeah, Vanity.
Oh my goodness, can he take this 1v2 CC immune right now? Alchemist has to run for his life. He still has E soon. I think it doesn't even matter, goes down. JFK now has to run for his life. Will Ultimate can't be disabled, but you absolutely can't be disabled. Flashes over the wall, which is pretty good against Olaf. Olaf is walking into the base to try to get him. Will eventually walk away because more members are showing up, but this means Funny Man gets alone time on the tower. So even though Funny Man is 0-0-0, these items are going to be stacking up.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that Zeri pick in the mid lane has a 30 gold or a 30 CS lead, but it's not really. It doesn't really matter when you're 0-4. When you're just getting 1v1 by both the solo laners at this point.
I mean, Zeri with 130 farm is one thing, but I take the Olaf every time if he's interface, you know?
Oh yeah, I'd rather have the 7-3 Olaf. I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, the Zeri does have her first item done at least. Syndra at about an item and a half.
Oh, how much does Valkyr want this camp? He's like, get away from my camp, but he might not be aware of what's coming up behind it. Here comes the CC chain. just a stun from Syndra right now, but Seraphine is looking. This is such a good angle for Seraphine if they want to go for it, but it's on cooldown. So I guess they'll have to give up the Raptors for now. Oh darn. Give up the Raptors. Oh well.
Oh
Let's
no.
go mid lane
I mean, they
now,
got
or
the little
dragon.
ones. They got the little chickens. It was just the big
True,
one that they
true.
didn't get. So, they at least got they got something for that. And you can't forget at this point, you do still have a 3-0 Misfortune who is going lethality, so that ultimate will shred. But the problem is there's not a ton of setup for that Misfortune ulti. Like, there is the Maokai ultimate that will be able to keep some people in place, but it's not really going to be able to root more than one traditionally, as long as TD Poro is playing it well. And just as I'm
Okay,
talking
Maokai
about it,
is
here
coming
comes the
in just
Maokai
for this
ult.
tower. Right, but the minions are actually dying pretty quickly. I think they will finish this tower. There might be some consequences, however. Maokai is already really low, and Hoodie Man is on the case. Will be able to queue in, will be able to, doesn't even have to ult, just get the flashes out immediately. Maokai will live, but Dragon is up right now, and Valkyrie's at 1 health.
Yeah, that should be Drake going over to the side of TD Poro, and that's going to be sole point for him. Like, that's
Husky, if you get CC'd,
Oh.
you are dead, and dead he is. MF ult, however, into the stun. Almost kills Raven, but they're able to do the no zones correctly. Don't stack up with the brand passive. And Husky will be fine.
And it looks like that Drake will go over, but you see Vanity over there just pushed up to the Render Tower casually in the bot lane while so much stuff is going on mid lane.
JFK is catching up a little bit. A lot of
Yeah.
gold from this tower, sure. But you're still against Soul Point, and you're still against that Olaf who's gotten that tower, plus the top tower, plus the top inhib tower, plus a bunch of kills. So,
Yeah.
it's, a start. It's just not quite going to make up that deficit.
I mean, he is playing it right when behind. You're both split pushers. The Mordekaiser basically cannot answer that Olaf in the side lane right now, so you send your Mordekaiser to the other side. It's alright, if this Olaf's going to push a tier 2, I'm also going to push a tier 2, just in the opposite side of the map. But yeah, you saw that Misfortune just went down so quickly in that mid lane fight. Like, just that we talked about Syndra a little bit. All Syndra has to do is hit that stun, and Misfortune will blow up.
Syndra only has 81 stacks right now, so she's not the threat yet. I mean, she still does a lot of damage, but in terms of threat association, you're probably more worried about the Olaf than the Jinx, and then the Syndra. So answer one thing at a time. Let's start with the Olaf. Let's not overwhelm ourselves. How do we answer this Olaf? I think this actually.
And the answer is not Mordekaiser. The answer is not Mordekaiser at this stage. I think you need to send at least 2 people to take care of that Olaf. And at this point, it's probably going to have to be the brand and the Mordekaiser. I think that's probably your best answer for the Olaf.
Raven getting up the stun. Valkyrie has no way out. Now, this is the ultimate, but that will be matched with the Olaf ultimate. And now, they just have no ability to get out. They're dying right next to the Baron. And I think that has to be the call for TD Poro. And they will gladly sweep that up. Zeri has no way to get there. MF could maybe overlay an ult on the top, but it's looking like 100% a Baron for TD Poro.
Yeah, that is definitely a Baron for TD Poro here. They got the Olaf, they got the Jinx. Like, they just shred this so quickly with that 2-item Jinx. And maybe JFK is going to look for something here. Maybe we get a Miracle Steal out of him. Nope.
Not this time.
No Jinx ulti coming from the side of TD Royal. It's only on the side of TD Poro, unfortunately. But if Misfortune was in position, Misfortune could have looked for a steal. That Misfortune ult's great for stealing objectives.
Okay, but JFK has to be a little careful here. Chasing Hoodie Man comes with consequences. You can't burst him in time. You will ult him so that way you can be alone for a little bit. But I have bad news for you. The ult eventually ends, and end it will. Here comes Jinx right in your face. Hoodie Man, not even gonna die. Jinx is excited. MF ult's not gonna be good enough at this stage. Maybe if that MF had 5 or 10 kills. Now Umu's coming in. No ult, sure. Doesn't really matter. The CC is enough. Zeri tries to do something. Be some kind of threat. But Olaf is just on the back line. Not even gonna go down to MF. We'll get the quadra kill. They're not gonna quite commit for the Penta surely, but Vanity is popping off once again.
Yep. It feels like top diff this game. I won't lie, or this series really.
I mean, yes, Vanity is destroying the game. It's very clearly over because of him. But these other players are no slouches. Even the 006 Jinx absolutely could carry a game from this state if the rest of the map was pretty even. It's just not even. Raven and Vanity are popping off. Vanity absolutely destroying JFK right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, JFK not having his best series ever, from say the least, if I had to say, but Yeah, these Syndra stuns are coming out. They are so good. Getting so many picks off of these Syndra stuns. Still only at 99 stacks. Still not fully transcended yet. So, not going to be quite. I mean, she is one-shotting people. What am I saying? But you got to imagine once she gets to that 120 stacks, it's going to look even worse for TD Royal. Like, any 80 carry gets caught out. They got two of them. Syndra's just going to pop them instantaneously.
Yeah, the long-term projections look bad. The short-term projections of solo spawning in 80 seconds also looks bad. As TD
Yeah.
Royal, you've got to come up with a rabbit out of your hat. I mean, it starts with like a pick on Olaf, so you got to bait out the ultimate and then re-engage later, pick him off without losing anything on the other side of the map, or start a fight while he's not there and not lose your entire base. I'm just not sure how it even starts. Right now it starts with losing potentially your mid inhibitor with this 4v4 siege. I think JFK is also going to go down. Has to flash over. But, I mean, yes, you baited out the Olaf ult. Okay, good. How are you going to get a pick before you lose your entire base? 30 man's looking for a fight right now. Cannot get Husky in the ultimate, so won't even bother. But the rest of the team can't turn while Husky is running away from that ultimate. They just flash out of the MF ult. And yes, that's a good trade if the game's going to last more than another 30 seconds. But the game will probably be over in 30 seconds. It doesn't matter that your ult will be up before the flash. They're going for all three inhibs right now. Soul is spawning in 30 seconds if they wanted to be really conservative. Or they could look for the end of the game because they've got so many tools. They still got a movement ult. They will just decide to look for Soul. But that's
This is the second Ocean Soul in a row. This is the second Ocean Soul in a row in this series. What is with that? I've noticed that a lot in series. It's a lot of the same souls. I don't know why.
Well, definitely going to be claimed here. And now you've got to deal with everything you've been dealing with poorly, except now he's got an Ocean Soul. How do you defeat an Olaf that's ulting? Usually by killing him. You can't kill him through an Ocean Soul. It's just impossible.
Yeah. You see Misfortune does have that Executioners, so, you know, might be able to stop some of his healing. But he does have Conqueror, he does have that Ocean Soul now. I feel like it's going to be just not quite enough, especially against this Lethality Misfortune. Like, Lethality Misfortune, the ulti does hurt, but you don't have a lot of DPS with that build. So I feel like that the Olaf just running at your face, probably not going to care too much about the Lethality Misfortune ult at this stage in the game when he's got 4 items. The Misfortune's 2.5.
Right, and it is
Olaf's
nice
almost
to have
full build.
anti-heal. It's nice to have anti-heal laid over a top of an Ocean Soul, but it's coming from MF and Maokai. They're not going to auto-attack out Maokai that much to proc it. And MF having to build that makes her damage so much nerfed. I mean, it's already bad that the enemy team has so many levels on them because levels give you armor. Armor makes the armor pin, or flat armor pin, not quite as gold effective. Meanwhile, Raven just looking for a fight. I'm not sure if Raven really wants this fight. Then again, you can take almost any fight. Even if Raven dies here, JFK will also die. I mean, a little sloppy from Raven, but arguably, like, you just go for it for the fun of it. But that will delay the game.
Yes, that definitely will. You won't be seeing those massive Syndra stuns that we've been getting all game, but slow on to the Maokai, onto Val here. We shall see, but no,
Are
like
they
they're
just gonna work 4v5 because Mordekaiser ult is down? I mean, they almost can. They've got 3 super waves. That's basically the 5th member. And Jinx is just so strong here. Funny man, 006, still a very scary Jinx. Don't even mention the 12 kill Olaf, who's just walking up the tower, not giving one single crap. Is rooted, is CC immune, now going on to the support. Doesn't even matter. Ocean Soul does kind of time out, however. I don't know that this fight is going to go the way of TD Royal. They're actually kind of running away now. Hoodie Man is doing some kind of CC. Jinx is everything right now. If Jinx lives, they win the game. If they don't, they could see the game extended. But Funny Man is just fighting on the steps of the farm, dodges everything. Funny Man is popping off right now. It doesn't even matter if Raven ends herself, because Funny Man will just pop off and get a pentakill and also die. But I think
she walked in the fountain,
will...
they set the Jinx ult in the wrong spot, but you know. Oh, they didn't.
This is actually unreal.
Raven got the last kill. It wasn't a penta. GG's coming out.
Minions will end it only after baiting the Cypher out. That's so hilarious. To just be like, oh yeah, the Cypher, come out, come clear the wave. You got this. Game is over. For TD Poro.
Is not what I was expecting from this series tonight. And,
yeah, I'm gonna call that a
JFK
pentakill, by the way.
it
You
up.
can't take that away from Funny Man.
Hey, it doesn't show up on the stats. That was a quadra kill.
I know, but to go from
right
006 to 417 is hilarious. And also to end the game with no members alive, also very deeply hilarious. But I mean, if you talk about this game, you've got to talk about top lane, right? For both
Oh
games
yeah.
of the series, it was definitely the deciding lane.
Mm-hmm. Vanity Pain just kind of popping off both games there. It feels like
Hmm.
the really just the top jungle duo from the side of TD Poro was just a little more on point tonight than the top of TD Royal. Top jungle
I mean,
duo.
there was definitely some moments where you could see some deficits. I was a little concerned about Hoodie Man's gank pathing. He showed up
Hmm.
with like 5 of his camps up and didn't get the gank off the way that he wanted.
Yeah.
Almost died for it. Only ended up winning the 2v2 barely, I believe.
Hmm.
Actually lost it. No, Mordekaiser got the double kill. After skipping
Yes.
that many camps is very scary as a jungler. But Vanity just kind of pops off, comes back in, kills the 2-1 or 2-0 Mordekaiser easily, and then
Hmm.
continues to snowball from there.
Yeah. Vanity just popping off. I don't know why I can't see the KDAs in this post game, but I think Vanity had like 12 or 13 kills at the end of that.
Yes, 12 kills, 4 deaths, 4 assists.
Man.
And 15k gold, which was higher than everyone else in the game by a wide margin.
Yeah. And quite a bit more damage than everyone else in the game too. The only person who was
Yes.
close enough to match him was actually JFK, the one who was fighting
Mm-hmm.
him the entire time.
Well,
So,
yeah, TD versus TD. Apparently, it's all about top lane, and today Vanity prevailed. I did like the adaptations that Royal made in the draft. It just unfortunately did not, once again, bear out in the gameplay. Um, and I think that it's just so hard because I don't know that JFK is used to playing carry into carry top laners. I feel like a lot of times he's playing carry into a tank.
yeah.
So having this matchup where Vanity's like, I will show up on a carry too, and we will see who will pop off. And unfortunately, it was just Vanity both times.
Yeah.
Definitely something to pay attention to for the rest of the league because JFK has been doing pretty well against the rest of the league. Maybe just ask your top laner to play a carry.
Yeah. Apparently. Have your top laner play carry, match carry versus carry, and just solo kill him a few times. Seems like it worked out pretty well for TD Poro. Just put all the attention in the top lane, get your top laner popping off, and it doesn't matter what the rest of the team does. So can't sleep on Revan either. They were
Either way,
having really good Syndra stuns there, so can't sleep on that.
one of one of the quickest days for LXE in a while that I remember. Quick
Yeah,
2-0, mostly played through the top lane, mostly in pretty brisk games. So here we are at the end of the stream already. Feels like I should
yeah,
be getting ready for another game or something.
I know.
But yeah, I also think for TD Pro, it's important to remember that like the rest of the lanes were not doing poorly or anything. Their draft was good enough that you can see Revan popping off enough to be relevant for the entire point of the game. And the Funny Man was ready to poise to carry that game regardless of Vanity, in my opinion. Now, obviously, if JFK had gone completely off and was a complete monster, Funny Man may not be able to carry that game for there, but he did his job. It's just Vanity did his job a lot better.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I think in total, between both games, Vanity had I think he had 12 kills both games, so total of
Hmm.
24 kills and only 6 deaths.
Yeah.
12, 4, and
I would
4
love to
the second
see a
game, and
TD
12 and
versus
2.
TD game. I would love to see a
Mhm.
TD versus TD game where the junglers are banned from going top lane and just see what happens. For at
Like
least
just
the
leave
first
them on.
15 minutes. Yep, that is an island. Let them fight to the death. But this is just how it bore out in the 2v2s of this game. And GFK and Valkyrie have got to go back to the drawing board and ask themselves how they answer these strong 2v2 matchups.
Hmm. Crazy part is
Either way.
looking at the gold. Funny Man didn't even have a gold lead. Husky had a gold lead over Funny Man, even with that
Mm-hmm.
very near pentakill at the end. So it really was just all in that top lane in both games,
Yeah.
really.
Mm-hmm. Thank you all for joining us. Enjoy your early night. I guess you'll have to find something else to watch for the next hour because we're here at LXE and we're done. But join us for the rest of the week. We've got some really exciting games coming up in the other divisions, or join us next week for Arbiter again. Thank you
Yep.
all for watching today.
See you all tomorrow.